Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in SmackDown Live. Who needs Raw?
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it Raw. Oh, baby, I like it Raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Also available wherever fine podcasts are available, including the iTunes and Stitcher and Podbean and soundcloud.com/Steve and Larson. Pretty much anywhere podcasts are, I'm pretty sure that's where you can find
Except Spotify.
Going In Raw, except for Spotify. We got to figure out Spotify. We need to do that. We're also, of course, at the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. So much of the production value you're seeing right here on the show is thanks to the patrons out there putting in money to support the cause, to support the show, and we really, really appreciate that. There's all sorts of great reward tiers.
Yes.
For example, on the Dirt Sheet episode of Going In Raw at the end of the week, we have video questions.
Yes.
Which you guys can submit at the $20 monthly mark. If you just want your video question in once, put in $20, and then you can have one video question up there.
Yeah, but also for $20, you get a bunch of other stuff.
I know. I'm working on that comic. Working on it. Oh, we got stickers.
Yeah.
So for $20, you get a sticker. Yeah, $5. We got a bunch of great patrons in watching this live on the live stream version of this. We have 27 people watching. My goodness gracious! And we want to say thanks to everybody. And of course, it's Tuesday, Larson, which means I type in the word pledge.
Oh, yeah.
On my phone, and I go back and I look at everybody who we're over 600 patrons right now, Larson.
That's incredible.
That's insane. That's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really neat. Big shout out to Alex C, who jumped up from $5 to $50. He wants that shirt.
Yep.
You get a shirt at the $50 mark.
Exclusive shirt.
Exclusive shirt. So we are going to, pledged. Well, there we go. Let me go back here. And I like to give a shout out to all the patrons because they're putting in money. It takes a lot of effort to get on PayPal or to get out your wallet, whatever they do on Patreon. And from the bottom of our hearts, we want to say thanks. So just real quick, I'm going to run down these names real quick. OFC Warped, Victoria Mays, Joe, Bubba the Scrub Cannon, Drew Compian, Gary Rennie, Dakota Finley, Nicholas Grosskirth, that's a great name, Dewey St. Gigglestick, that can't be Dewey's real name, Sean Blake, Kelso Igurin, you guys gotta chill out on these names are crazy, Kelso Igurin, I guess, Gage Catawaz, Darren L. Kephart. None of these could be real names. Daniel Pena Jr., Harrison Ford.
Wow.
Legit confirmed.
Indiana Jones himself.
The actor is kicking in money.
Bob Falfa himself.
Bob Falfa. Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick. He put in money. Dominic Hilberg, Waylon King, and Robert Temple. I want to say thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
That was really, really cool. And of course, now, neither of us are wearing them, because we just got our first shipment in. But at prowrestlingtees.com/Going In Raw, you guys,
can now get Fun Wrestling logo t-shirts right now. Just went up.
I'm fine with that. If they love Fun Wrestling, I still get a cut of that. I get 50, baby, 50% of that. Shouldn't there be some incentive? Like you get, it's like 60-40 and then 60-40 W Steve W?
It just makes things too complicated.
It does, I know. More importantly, you can get W Steve W shirts.
You can also get Going In Raw t-shirts.
That's what came in yesterday.
Yeah.
That's in the laundry right now. I haven't washed it yet.
Same here, but I'm stuck wearing this shirt.
Yes, you are. Why? Do you know why? Because you got predictions wrong, you dumb bastard.
It happens sometimes.
Ooh. All right. Anyways, we got a Raw to talk about. What was your overall impression last night?
Raw!
What was your overall impression of Raw last night? Because I watched it and I saw it all. So everybody in the comments, Steve watching, don't watch all of Raw. I watched it all, but in bits and pieces. I watched the Hulu version this morning. I watched all the stuff that I missed on YouTube. And then
I didn't really find it terribly captivating.
There was
there were some moments that were
a lot of
okay.
entertaining stuff, but I feel like okay, the entire sensitivity training thing. Oh my God! If there was any reason to have a 2-hour Raw, it was that shit. I can't. If it's funny, that's one thing.
It wasn't funny at all.
Man, like the only time
It was like Enzo knew it wasn't funny.
Yeah, I know. The only time, although it led to a vicious beating at the end.
Yeah.
Let's go from the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's go from the top of the show. It started off.
Owens and Jericho came out to deliver a promo together, and we still didn't get a ton of clarity about whether, because Owens made it kind of seem.
No, we did. We got clarity. We did. Owens said he didn't know.
Yeah, he said he didn't know what Jericho's plan was. That's what he said, but we didn't find out whether they were legitimately at odds or if it was kind of a long game.
I think. Well, what you just said is the same thing. Oh no, legitimately at odds. Yeah, okay. I felt it was made clear that they were legitimately at odds.
But it wasn't like Jericho said, this was the moment where I realized that
that's true.
I needed you.
That's true.
We didn't have that.
That's true. In any event, it was a very entertaining opening segment.
Yeah.
Although
went on too long, and some of the interaction between Foley and Owens and Jericho felt a little awkward.
A little bit. When you got 3 people out there, hey, look, when you got 3 people out there and they're all improvising and you know that's what was going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're going to have a little bit of stumbling
Yeah.
around. So the thing is, the announcement was made, Owens versus Roman Reigns in the main event, not the main event.
At the Royal Rumble.
At the Royal Rumble. They're going to be fighting for the Universal title again. And to ensure that there is no interference on the part of Y2J, he will be suspended from a last Battle of Atlanta-esque shark cage above the ring. And that led to a comedic bit where Jericho, who claimed he was scared of heights, gets in the shark cage. And you see what's happening the entire time.
Yes.
Owens keeps saying...
Well, he's like testing out various parts of the cage, like the door isn't good and the floor isn't secure.
Right.
And the whole time he's getting in the cage to test various parts of the cage out.
Right.
Foley locks him in it, raises the cage.
But the entire time, Owens keeps on pointing out to Jericho.
It's like, hey, Chris, get out of the cage
Get
before
out of
you
the
do
cage.
that.
Get out, dude. Get out of the
Yeah.
cage. Get out of the cage. So it was comical.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was funny. I appreciate humor. I like humor. I'm wondering, did this just feel like a reset button on something that we thought was happening, like a feud that we thought was actually going on?
Or at least they want us to feel like it's a reset button. Someone on Twitter, and I thought this too when Jericho and Owens made nice at Roadblock, whether Jericho's just doing that to keep the belt on Owens so he can get it off him.
Yeah.
Like if Jericho has a grander vision for where he wants this feud to go.
Is breaking them up in that manner, if that happens, does that make Jericho a heel? I know I always hate questions. Is he a heel now? Is that a face turn for Owens? If that's how it goes down?
It depends how it happens.
People mark out for them as a team.
Yes, I know.
People love the list. People love them as a
It would
team.
depend on...
If Jericho goes heel on Owens, doesn't that make Owens would people kind of turn on Jericho?
No, I don't know. They could have... I mean, if it's a situation where they tease more tension and something happens and Jericho says, Kevin Owens, you made the list. That's going to get a huge face pop.
Oh, big time. Yeah, I know, but what you're suggesting is tons more devious.
Potentially.
For him to turn on him and win the title, that's devious right there.
Yeah.
And people love them together, so I feel like whoever that might I don't know.
I don't know. It just occurred to me. It popped in my head.
I trust in Jericho.
I kind of feel like I don't want to see this match. Owens Reigns at the Rumble. I thought my idea was better.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I would prefer you to be in charge of WWE Creative. Like I said, if I took over the company, I'd put you in a room.
Let me ask you a question, kind of related to this whole. Well, it is related to the title picture.
Shoot.
Rollins said a couple weeks ago that his path to Triple H is through Kevin Owens and getting that Universal title. How come Rollins isn't mad that he's not in a match for the Universal title? If he's not, like every night on Raw, he should be like, I want a match for the Universal title because it's my way to get Triple H. How come he's not doing that? He seems really too casual about getting to Triple H, apart from one promo 2 weeks ago.
Have you ever been in a giant bush maze? That's not a sexual innuendo. I'm talking about one of those actual bush mazes.
No.
I have when I was a kid. I feel like that's how lost Seth Rollins' direction is. Like they showed Triple H up and down that video package at Roadblock end of the line, like preceding their match.
Yeah.
And Triple H was nowhere to be found. He has been nowhere to be found. The path through. No, you're not. I don't know where Triple H is. He should come out of the Rumble.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be at the Rumble, but who knows?
And it would make sense if they had the 4-way match for Triple H to come out, interfere.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the next time we see Triple H is going to be as an entrant in the Rumble?
Oh, I hope not.
It's a possibility,
It
though.
is.
It's a distinct possibility.
Well, I hope not.
It's a distinct possibility to come out, fuck with Rollins again, and then it leads to WrestleMania. What's his motivation? We have no idea. No clue. I haven't seen the Max Landis video, the recent one, where I think he said something like he either talked to Seth Rollins or he's talking about Seth Rollins. But he talks about narrative and story and stuff like that, and I think he kind of roundabout talks about, I could be talking in my house, but I think he talks about the Vice article about Vince McMahon, or at least like hints at it. And I want to check it out because Max Landis, he's an interesting character, and a lot of the stuff that he said, and including that video he made about Triple H, it resonated with me. He's got a lot of interesting ideas, and I find myself siding with him a lot when he talks about pro wrestling. But he's completely lost. He's completely lost. Like, what's Triple H's motivation for doing what he did 3 months ago?
No idea. 4 months ago.
And if the WWE seems to think, which they do from what we've heard, that the audience has a short memory, but then they do the Goldberg-Lesnar stuff, then why do we even care anymore? Then why do we care about Rollins and his quest to find Triple H? Like, what's happened has happened. He's had how many opportunities to get back into the Universal title picture since then? Why is he still whining about Triple H?
I know. If he wants to get to Triple H, why doesn't he just go to WWE headquarters?
Yeah, I know. Right?
On one of his off days.
I know.
Schedule a meeting.
Yeah, I know. He's literally his boss.
I know. He's sitting at gorilla position.
He's
during
literally
all of Raw.
there. He's literally there.
Go to an NXT taping. I'm sure Triple H is there too.
I'm sure there's some sort of fan access thing that Triple H might be at some point. Go ask Shawn Michaels where he is. I don't know. Anyways.
But yeah, without knowing what Triple H's motivation was for costing Rollins the belt and helping Owens, first of all, this doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
And at 4 months after that incident happened, it's like, okay, well, let's move on from it and forget about it until it's convenient to bring it up again.
I know. But this is the WWE we're talking about. So anyways, then we got... So wait, it was directly after that we had... Yeah, Jericho Owens
commercial
backstage.
break.
Yeah, commercial.
And then, Jericho was receiving oxygen from the medical team.
Hyperventilating
because
from
it was so high.
Fear of heights.
He said he had arachnophobia, which of course is a fear of spiders.
I think that was lit. Didn't they do like a third backstage?
No, it was during this one.
Oh, it was during that one? No, it was Owens Jericho locker room. I remember that.
Oh, okay,
that
sorry.
Arachnophobia thing.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Owens Jericho in this one.
Yes.
Like Vince wakes up. I regret breaking them up. They're money together. People love them. I want to see them more. Okay, I guess we'll get them back together.
He legitimately wants to make it the Chris and Kevin show.
He does. Then we had the continuing adventures of Big Cass versus Rusev.
I wonder if these guys are ever going to have a match that actually has a real finish. Because this match started, Cass just beat the hell out of Rusev, got DQ'd for not listening to the ref.
I mean, I got this one completely wrong. I figured they'd want to start booking Rusev strong. I figured this is a pre-show level feud that Rusev could get some really easy licks in, cheating against Cass and going over strong. Because you can cheat and do that when you're a heel. I hope people know that.
See, I thought
Creative knows that.
I thought it'd be a situation where on the pre-show that would happen, and then something like last night would happen. On
where
Raw,
Cass would get his
Cass would
revenge,
get mad and come out and get DQ'd.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
I know. But instead, we didn't get that. We got Cass destroying Rusev until he got DQ'd. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over. Like, I want Enzo and Cass to be treated properly, and I know that's like everybody's thing is like I want people to be. Whose arrival on the main roster has been bungled worse, Enzo and Cass or American Alpha? Oh God, American Alpha.
Probably.
Oh my God, by far, people love the shit out of Enzo and Cass. People don't even know who American Alpha is. Say what you will. No, that goes to the strength of Enzo and Cass.
Yes.
That goes to show how good they are. And in fact, honestly, I should kind of be optimistic about this because Cass is being booked really strong against Rusev, who has been booked really strong in the past.
And they're getting a ton of TV time. So why am I bitching about it? Two of my favorite guys are getting TV time, and they're in an actual feud, and they're not just on commercials for WWE and they're
Shop.com.
not losing to the Shining Stars.
And they're not losing to Shining Stars, exactly. So I'm sorry, bitch fest over. Moving on. Sasha Banks came out hobbling on crutches, and she came out to discuss her loss to Charlotte. And
she said she didn't feel like the boss anymore.
Yeah.
It was kind of almost...
She's now an employee.
What? Oh, yeah.
Get it? Boss, employee? Come on. Keep up with me.
Sorry.
Nuts.
Well, yeah.
The shirt's affecting your brain.
It is. So, Sasha delivers the promo.
Look at that. New sale at ProWrestlingTees.com.
It's probably the one I just bought.
It is, in fact, the one you just bought.
The Fun Wrestling logo, which you can buy now on Pro Wrestling Tees. Bought one for me, bought one for Steve.
Way to get me excited. So
there
I get half of that revenue right there.
There you go.
Okay. So anyways, at the end, she says, I want to call out Charlotte to congratulate her. And then I imagine backstage, Charlotte was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to go out there. And then Nia Jax says, And she heard they cue her crappy pop song. I'm not a person. Something, what is it?
I'm not like most girls.
I'm not like most girls. And then Nia Jax comes out and says some stuff kind of awkwardly.
Well, she more or less said that she's the boss now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I want to see her go 30 minutes in a match. I'm just saying. Nia Jax said that, and then she... that was the most messed up thing you can do, is jack somebody's crutch. Oh, that's messed up.
I know. And then Nia beat up Sasha.
Yeah, I like Nia Jax.
I do too.
She's a beast. She's no ODB, but she's pretty cool. Until you go around slapping your titties. I totally forgot about her until Total Nonstop Deletion.
Yeah. I wasn't that familiar with her work, and then I watched that.
She's a character, man. TNA was stacked with good female talent back in the day. Anyways, there was a match recently. God damn it, who was it? I don't know. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know the participants, but there was a match recently that was just horrible. Let's see here. Cesaro and Sheamus backstage. They debuted. What do you think about these beautiful new Raw Tag Team Championship belts, Larson?
Horribly uninspired.
Beautiful.
Uninspired.
Look, man, you get what you get. I'm happy these days when they simply change the color scheme to something that looks better than the previous color scheme, which didn't work with the Universal Championship. But I felt it worked pretty good in this case. I can't see. Dude, come on. You're the one who was bitching endlessly about those copper pennies.
Yeah, I don't like those either.
Well, these look better than that. Look, I totally agree with you. They need to redesign these things wholesale.
Yeah.
Like,
each brand should have their own aesthetic.
Look at how beautiful the Cruiserweight belt is. It's beautiful. And mainly, not because it's so great looking, but because it's not what everything else is.
Well, I think also
I fully expected them to just do a small version of like one of
with
their
a
other
purple
belts.
strap.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the recently unveiled United Kingdom title.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good looking belt.
Oh, man. That is a beautiful looking belt.
Yeah.
That is absolutely gorgeous. So anyways, yeah, so I don't know. I like it's a change in color. That's a step in the right direction.
I think it'd been interesting if they had done the red strap but kept the pennies on it.
It's going to be really interesting when Vince does retire or something else happens, and to see what changes are made on that level. If the whole belt branding situation is a Vince thing, or if it's going to be interesting to see what changes are made, and then we'll be able to definitively say, oh, I guess that was a Vince thing.
Yeah.
So that was a Vince thing. Okay. What if it just skyrockets? What if it just becomes like Shakespearean, the storytelling?
Well,
and
it's
like
pro
this
wrestling.
long,
You shouldn't expect that.
2-year storylines that are just built to these epic climaxes, and it's like it's what we could have had for 30 years.
I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I'm assuming Vince had the book in the 80s.
Yeah, I did. I had the book.
And like the Mega Power storyline, that took a year. That was good.
That's true.
They've had good long storylines before.
Yeah. I like this. I really loved the elevation of Braun Strowman throughout this episode. It was great. He was backstage destroying stuff. Foley!
Yeah.
I always slip into a Ryback when I go.
You do,
and I
really
feel like
go-
that's horribly disrespectful to
It
Braun
is.
Strowman. Foley. That was a little better. Anyways,
Still sound like Ryback.
so he was destroying stuff backstage. Mick Foley did his best like lion tamer impression. He was doing this.
It's like Chris Pratt in Jurassic World.
Exactly, yeah, like that. And he was saying, Sami Zayn's gone. He's 100 miles away.
He's not here today.
Not here today. You
Take the
should-
day off, Braun.
Like, it's Braun Strowman. He's a big moneymaker. Put him in the ring against somebody.
I know.
Braun Strowman did take the initiative, though. Later on in the show, he interrupted a match that nobody wanted to see between Titus O'Neil, Titus Brand, and Sin Cara,
Yeah.
and destroyed both men.
He threw Sin Cara through a bunch of Christmas presents
Yeah, it was great.
and then tossed Christmas trees around.
yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was pretty good.
And then we'll get to his participation in the main event. in a
Yeah,
bit- in a
because
bit.
they're really telegraphing
apparently,
a feud.
apparently Scoops knows what he's talking
a
about.
feud in the future.
Let's see here. So then we had probably my highlight of the night. This was good. Cedric Alexander, another stellar match between him and Noam Dar. And at the end, Cedric, Alicia Fox came in to celebrate with him a little bit, to be with her man. And Noam Dar, while still on the floor, somehow found a mic
Yeah.
and said, "Yeah, all right, you beat me. So I guess you can call us even. But you still got what I want, Cedric Alexander. You've got Alicia Fox." Oh, I love Noam Dar so much. I love my official endorsement for the... Oh, we didn't even mention the Friendo Awards at the start of the show. You can vote on the Friendo Awards
Yeah.
right now at the Wrestling Amino app. We'll put the details in the description.
Yeah.
It's our best of 2016 awards.
Yeah, and one of the categories is official going in Raw wrestler of 2017.
So we're not saying who was the official going in Raw wrestler of 2016.
who you guys think we're going to think is the official going in Raw
And there's
wrestler
lots of votes out there
2017.
for Noam Dar.
Yeah, write in your choice.
Alicia. Oh, I loved it. It was great.
It was pretty good.
Do you see an Alicia Fox heel turn coming up? I think her and Noam Dar would make a dynamite couple. Dump that Cedric Alexander, Mr. Boring. Get with the real man, Noam Dar. Oh my God, I'd love to see a live sex show. You know what? All three of them together would be great.
You got some fuzz floating through your office here.
What?
There was like lint that just flew past my face.
Who did it?
I don't know. I don't know where it'd come from.
Then we had the New Day promo. Apparently, they edited out Big E on the YouTube version. They edited out Big E's little swipe at Charlotte.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because Kofi said Ric Flair had
Yeah.
to lose his title 15
And
times
he
to be a
said
16-time champion.
And then Big E said, yeah, Charlotte should be there in a month or something like that.
I wonder if he got in trouble for that one. But anyways, so yeah, there was a New Day promo. Cesaro and Sheamus.
Well,
comes out.
they're essentially saying,
Congratulations.
well, that, but also saying,
We'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be a 3-time champion, you got to lose twice.
Exactly. So Cesaro and Sheamus come out. Cesaro is paying his respects. Sheamus is showing his disrespects. The club comes out, calls some people some nerds, which is kind of funny. The Shining Stars come out. I literally fast forwarded past that part because they have nothing I want to hear. And then that ended up into a tag match.
Yeah, an 8-man tag match. We saw Cesaro and Sheamus team up with
9-man tag match.
8.
What do you mean 8?
Because it's a
Do your
4-on-4 match.
It's 4 on. I know.
Xavier Woods wasn't involved,
He was there. He
Yeah.
could be involved.
but he wasn't one of the official participants.
He's there.
8-man.
That's enough. How many members are there in the New Day?
3.
Okay, thank you.
But only 2
What's
of them.
3 plus 2?
I know math. Only 2 of them wrestle in a match.
I know math.
8-man tag match.
You know math? Enzo and Cass.
Cesaro,
was
Sheamus,
backstage.
New Day versus Shining Stars and the Club.
Oh yeah, who won that one?
Cesaro made Epico tap out
That sounds about right.
in the
Did I miss
sharpshooter.
much? Okay, now you guys can officially in the comments say, Stevie didn't watch that 9-man tag
It
match.
was a fun match, though. It was fun.
That's good.
8-man.
Yeah. Then we had Enzo and Cass backstage. Enzo was like, I feel like I'm costing you W's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets a letter from HR.
Sensitivity training, which was just a giant waste of everybody. They had like 3 of these segments.
Yes.
And the sad thing is, you know what? The sad thing is There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential for
the
comedy.
people that were in there,
quality.
in the sensitivity training with them were
Darren Young,
were
Bob
good.
Backlund,
Yes.
Bo Dallas, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
I love Jinder, man. Push that guy to the moon. Not going to happen, but I love
There
him.
was a potential with all the participants for good stuff.
Jinder could be good. You know, Jinder can be good.
I know.
He's got, number one, he's got like that face just chock full of charisma. I always love the guys whose faces chock full of charisma. And he's like tall, but like kind of odd. Like his posture's kind of odd. He doesn't carry himself with power. He carries himself like a guy who has no idea how to be 6'5" or whatever. He's probably like 6'8". He's a tall dude.
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
Yeah. He looks like he has no idea how to carry himself that tall. Like he was just, he got 6'8" like 3 weeks ago. I think that's one of his problems. He doesn't carry himself like this.
I never noticed that before.
If you look at him in the ring, he carries himself like he has no idea how to be tall. Maybe that's his problem. I don't know. Anyways, we're not going to talk about sensitivity training except for the very end when Rusev and Jinder Mahal, who Enzo had pissed off during training, just annihilated him.
And Rusev kind of did a choke slam on Enzo through a table.
Yeah, not kind of. He did, like a devastating one.
Yeah.
And, man, that was almost like disturbing. Like they laid into him.
Yeah.
So anyways, do you think that'll bump up? God, the Rumble's coming up. That's not bumping that past the pre-show. It's the Rumble.
Well, I assume we're going to get a tag team match of Enzo and Cass versus Rusev and Jinder Mahal.
I hope so, because that'll put Jinder up there in the pre-show feud.
Yeah.
Then we got what'd you think of
This
Neville's?
was great.
What'd you think of Neville's promo?
Great.
It's great, wasn't it?
Great.
It was great. The funny thing is, he was like, the only time you cheer me. That was Wade Barrett. I can't do Neville. Neville has a very specific type of English accent, and I forget where it's from. Maybe somebody in chat can. Do you know?
I thought it was Newcastle.
No.
I thought he was from Newcastle.
Neville, WWE. Let's see where he's from. He might be from Newcastle. Let's see. Oh, you're right. Yeah, he's from Newcastle upon Tyne. But I thought there was a different name for that type of accent. But at one point he was billed from the jungle. Interesting. Let's see here. There you go, a Geordie accent. According to Damon069. A Geordie accent. I wonder what that means, Geordie. Anyways.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Let's see here.
But yeah, so Rich Swann came out.
Yeah, so Neville came out.
Called Rich Swann out.
Yeah, he cut a heel promo. Rich Swann comes out, who has like the best smile in the entire business. Because he has kind of a little bit of an underbite, and he has those eyes that are intense. I like analyzing faces, Larson. It's fun. Anyways, Rich Swann comes out. Neville, what happened to you? You used to be buddies.
Yeah.
You used to be my friend.
Yeah.
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 And
they spoke of their time in Japan together.
Yeah, and then Brian Kendrick comes out and basically sings the praises of Neville, says, I know why you did what you did.
Yeah. Mutual respect.
And then evidently TJ Perkins came out, but he's so boring I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
he ran out. And then the heels stood tall.
That's right.
Neville more or less laid everybody out himself.
That's dope.
And during the whole time,
Neville is the Braun Strowman of the Cruiserweight.
Kendrick was just, all right, I'm going to let Neville do his thing.
I know, I love it.
I know, they're booking Neville to be a beast in the Cruiserweights.
I know, it's
fantastic.
great. It's fantastic.
I'm so happy they're giving Neville something to do.
Me too.
Just think when Austin Aries is healthy and follows through.
Oh my gosh.
Joins the Cruiserweight division.
It'd be great. Juice by Tappy. Sin Cara versus, we already talked about that. Then we had Owens and Jericho in the locker room where Jericho says he has arachnophobia and Kevin Owens had to...
It's agoraphobia.
Yeah, agoraphobia. Oh, is that the Heights one?
I think so.
Agoraphobia?
I thought so. Maybe that's...
Which one's...
Oh, no, agoraphobia is... Oh, yeah, well, kind of.
What's the opposite of claustrophobia?
No,
fear of open spaces. That's never mind. Fear of heights.
Agoraphobia is the anxiety in situations where the person...
Acrophobia.
Oh, that's what he said, yeah. Sorry.
Acrophobia.
We don't know our phobias very well,
We
apparently.
don't. We don't know our phobias nearly enough.
So, Owens said to Jericho, get it together. We have a tag match tonight against Rollins and Reigns.
Get it together, man. Yeah, and then we had a Charlotte promo. She came out, cut a wonderful heel promo. And then Bayley comes out to stay, and she literally says, And now that the Sasha Charlotte feud is over, it's time for the Bayley Charlotte feud.
Maybe it's time for the Bayley and Charlotte feud to begin.
I freaking love Bayley so much.
I know.
I love her so much. Then we had an impromptu Charlotte versus Bayley match.
They gave them a lot of time.
That was like a 15-minute match. That was a long match. I know. It was good too.
Mm-hmm.
They flowed well together.
Especially towards the end, it picked up really well.
And of course, it was non-title, which of course meant Bayley picked up the win.
Yeah, but not without some controversy.
Yeah, because she tried to do the backslide thing, or what's it called?
Backslide. Yeah. And then as the ref was counting the pinfall, Charlotte got her right shoulder up.
Right
before the 3 count, but the ref didn't see it.
Yeah.
So controversy.
Let's see here. Then we had more sensitivity training. We already talked about that. Then we had our main event, which featured Roman Reigns, your current U.S. champion, and Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Decent enough match.
Yeah, it was fine. And then Braun came out and destroyed the faces.
Yeah, it was great.
Really telegraphing that we're going to get Braun and Roman.
We're going to see Braun versus Roman at Mania. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
I'm all for it if Braun wins.
Braun Strowman, your new U.S. Do you think they're going to do that to Roman Reigns? Do you think maybe they got into Vince Reed's wrestling? Do you think Vince Reed's a wrestling observer?
Well, maybe they'll do that with the thought that after Mania, they'll just put Reigns right back in the Universal title scene and give him the belt.
Here's a conspiracy theory. Maybe Kevin Dunn is giving Vince like fake numbers. Like he's like, look at all this merch that Roman Reigns is selling. He's definitely not the problem.
Literally, we sold out of all of Roman Reigns merch. We need to print more. And he just puts it all in his garage.
Exactly. Oh, goodness. Anyways, Braun versus Roman. I like that. I like that it's good. Look, that's a big money feud. Braun Strowman versus. They're not gonna job Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns.
I would hope not.
They're not gonna do that, are they? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I really hope not. But I don't know. I hope they have big plans for Braun Strowman.
But I think the bummer part of it is that we know exactly what the finish to the Royal Rumble match is going to be. It's not going to be Jericho interfering. Braun Strowman's going to come out and cost Reigns the match.
Yep. Book that one.
Probably because leading up to the Rumble, Strowman will be getting in Foley's face about giving him another match with Sami Zayn, and it won't happen.
Yeah. It's time for questions.
Patreon champion, Carlos Hackworth. Oh, I should say, this week, someone suggested last week that we select questions, at least first, that are popular on our Patreon.
Oh, so you did that this time.
I did that this week,
good.
yes.
Good job. Okay. So if you guys see questions that you like, then you popularize them on the Patreon.
Yes.
You hit the like button.
Oh, yes.
By the way, speaking of which, apparently smashing the like button, although it feeds our egos, doesn't really do much for the actual show. I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
I should have been saying that at the beginning of the show. I really appreciate and love people smashing that like button. Please go ahead and continue to do it. It makes us feel very good.
Yeah, but it's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. Apparently it doesn't do anything for the contrary to what a lot of YouTubers are saying out there, or had been saying anyways. Doesn't do anything.
Anyways.
Just watch the show.
Carlos Hackworth. Excuse me. Do you think Braun could take the U.S. title off of Roman? He could. Will he? Probably not.
I think that's exactly the correct answer. Retired Dwayne Nix. How long do you see Sheamus and Cesaro holding the tag straps? And when they drop them, is it going to be the New Day, or are we going to finally get the club?
I would hope it would be the club.
It's a very interesting dynamic.
But it seems like they're
Cesaro
really
and Sheamus
playing up Cesaro's relationship with the New Day.
Yeah.
They're friendly.
Yeah.
So I feel like the first match, New Day needs to, they have their rematch. So that'll happen probably at the Rumble.
I feel like they're playing that relation, that sort of that chumminess up, just to contrast, or just to better highlight his Rocky relationship with his tag partner, which I love because I love tension. That's great.
Yeah,
it's great. I think I'll put it this way. I don't know, but they're going to run with it as long as they can. I definitely don't see it being a short-term thing. I'm not going to say they're breaking any records, but I could see them
at least till Mania.
At least till Mania, and then it's anybody's guess.
That'd be 4 months.
Yeah,
give or take.
I would say at least till Mania. Do you see them? What are the odds they're going to be walking into Mania as the champions? Especially because I know they themed them Raw theme, but they're also Cesaro and Sheamus. They're red. I mean, they do a lot of red stuff.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be champions for a little while, at least Mania,
until they implode.
Yeah, but I think that they're. I mean, look at how long the New Day have let their stick go. And granted, Cesaro and Sheamus aren't quite up to their level necessarily. Maybe,
but the whole
they kind of are,
their whole narrative is the volatility between the two of them.
But that works. It works.
Yeah,
really
but
at
some point,
and it's. I think that's a story they can milk a lot out of.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, they can. Will they?
Dun dun dun.
That's the question. Gene the Grappler. This is Gene the Grappler's last time asking you questions related to WWE Raw since he is dumbfounded with the booking of both the Universal and Women's title. So his question, what can Raw do to get out of the booking loop they are in? So I think the booking for the Women's title has been fantastic.
A lot of people disagree with that, but I agree with you. I think it's been fantastic, and I think we saw last night officially they're moving on.
Yeah.
And I think it's fine. I think Bayley will probably win that belt at WrestleMania, and they'll be great. I'm fine
and then
with
she'll
that.
probably have a long reign with it.
Yeah, I think so too.
As far as the Universal title, sorry, go ahead.
As far as the Universal title, I mean, we've said a couple times, it would appear that, Owens is going to hold it, I would think, till Mania. I don't know when Finn's coming back, but Finn
He
versus
said that he would not be ready for the Rumble.
Okay.
But WrestleMania is the plan.
Okay, all right.
But it seems like the WrestleMania match is going to be Owens-Jericho.
You think so? Owens-Jericho for the Universal title? That'd be really smart of them.
It would be.
Yeah.
But then, say Jericho wins next night on Raw, Owens destroys him, gets it back, so it writes Jericho off TV, and maybe then Finn interjects himself in the Universal title scene.
Could be interesting. It all kind of depends. I think when Finn's ready to come back.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah.
Austin Luff. After the storyline ends, what is next for Kevin Owens? I would think Finn Balor.
Yeah. And what is next for Roman and Seth? It seems like Roman is going to have to contend with Braun Strowman, and I guess at some point Seth will have his match with Triple H.
You think at some point before he retires, Seth is going to take on Triple H?
Yes. Joshua the Dynamic Knight Martinez. Hey, friend, this is kind of similar to the previous question. Where do you think Seth Rollins goes from here? Will he be interested in the Universal title match at the Royal Rumble? He should be interested in every Universal title match that happens until he gets it or he gets Triple H, because he says that's his path to Triple H.
You would think so. It's like playing a video game.
So he should be lobbying to be put in every Universal title match every week on Raw.
I know. I agree. He should be starting Change.org petitions. Broken World Champion Jacob Omega. Due to the heat that I received for wanting to be the Steve W heavyweight champion. Look, you have all the ambition in the world, Jacob Omega. Are you an actual character in...
Well, in his defense, though, as of yet, there is no official Steve W championship belt that I have seen.
You're correct. Nobody's seen it. It does exist.
Okay.
Nobody's seen it, though. That's because originally the plan was for Boss Haas to throw down your crap championship belt.
Good belt.
And it's got a picture of a guy who's fought once as the centerpiece.
But but Top Notch Super Best is the H champion. That's the top belt in all of wrestling. You can't argue with that.
You're right. However, I don't know. I need to get our friendo Matthew Audette, who is just a belt creating fool. I need to get him. He made one belt that looks fantastic, and I think it was made for Steve W.
Oh, okay.
I might just straight up use that, maybe make a couple small alterations, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think he's my official belt maker guy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see here. Eddie, did we answer the question?
No, we didn't. You didn't even get to it.
Oh, God. Who would you book as the next 3 Universal Champions? Well, that's easy.
Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens again, then Finn Balor.
There you go.
Next 3 WWE champions after Undertaker and Cena. So Cena has it.
Let's say Cena has it.
At Mania, he wins it again.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say I would love to see Cena in a program with Miz again. And whoever would have thought I would say that, because that first time was so bad. I think they're ready for that feud, though. Cena, Miz. So Cena, Miz.
Wyatt.
There you go. Wyatt.
And then
Styles.
Yeah. No, but then it'll be Wyatt Orton probably.
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever. Let's see here. Eddie Men.
Hey, friendos. Good job in calling the dire need for Neville to be in the Cruiserweight division. With that said, Eddie Men felt shocked that he turned heel at Roadblock. He thinks it was very unexpected. His question is, who else on the current roster could shock you with a heel babyface turn out of nowhere? I had an answer for this when I read the question initially.
If it was done well, Apollo Crews.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
If it was done well, Apollo Crews. I still say that if he came out, not sporting wrestling gear, but like sort of darker themed civilian gear, if he came out and started interrupting matches, and saying I'm the best, something like that, Kit Kat Katcha, that's his actual name. So last night was the first time I saw the whole Noam Dar Cedric Alexander thing. And it did get cut out of Hulu, but I was able to see it thanks to YouTube. Has it always been a cringy I'm gonna steal your girl thing, or was that a new turn last night? No, that's how it originally happened. Does it seem off to you guys that they're pulling a subplot like that with how strong they've been pushing the top women on the roster? There's I was actually kind of thinking about this when I watched, this go down last night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it feels out of date necessarily. It feels very tropish. It feels like this is just a standard convention of many, many wrestling feuds.
Yes.
As long as they don't get too weird with like Attitude Era with it.
Yeah.
As long as they don't get too creepy with it.
Yeah.
Then it's fine.
Yeah.
I would love to see Alicia Fox go heel. I think her being Noam Dar would be an absolute, kick in the butt to what she needs, as a really, really strong heel valet.
Yes.
I think it'd be great. I mean, she's a terrific wrestler.
Yeah, she's good,
and
too.
maybe that could in turn catapult her back up to where she needs to be.
Yeah. Richard Nixon. Seasons deletings, friendos.
Seasons deletings, friendos.
New patron. And Ghost from Trio Woes past, Richard Nixon here.
Was he back? Do you remember?
So.
Okay, I remember.
Richard Nixon has been rewatching the Cruiserweight Classic and realized how many competitors didn't sign on / receive a contract from WWE. Were there any wrestlers that stood out to you during the event that you're surprised aren't with WWE now?
Well, the biggest
and he
one
mentions
would be
Akira Tozawa, who is signed, just hasn't had a match yet on 205 Live. You're going to say Kota Ibushi, right?
That's the biggest one, yeah. I think a lot of people, I don't think anybody was shocked that he didn't sign with the WWE because people who kind of follow the behind the scenes crap sort of understood that was kind of on shaky ground anyways, and him showing up was kind of supposed to be. So it didn't necessarily surprise me because you can't have all the, he is a jewel.
Yeah.
He is a straight up jewel.
Yeah.
And so not having signed such a diamond like that.
Yeah.
I'm going off all these weird
like
gemstone
metaphors,
yeah.
I mean, if you look at the best matches in the Cruiserweight Classic, there's one constant.
I know.
He's in them.
I know.
All of his matches were fantastic. I think a lot of people were hoping that Zack Sabre Jr. would sign a contract.
Oh, right.
He's doing so well on the independent scene right now.
That was another one that was kind of obvious. Yeah, he's probably not going to sign.
Yeah. At least not right now. Give him a couple more years.
Yeah. Nicholas Grosskirth. What do you think of Raw being used to set up matches on 205 Live?
I think it's great.
I think it's great. I think it works so far, and I think it's probably, hopefully, accomplishing maybe what it should, and that's to get people to the network to check out 205 Live.
Yes.
And shit like Noam Dar is going to accomplish that goal faster than anything. And now Neville.
I think a crossover between all the shows as much as possible is a good thing for all the shows.
I agree.
Helps the brands.
Yes. Nate Morris.
Hey, friendos, what do you think about the Black Excellence picture controversy from last week that Big E posted? Does it make WWE look bad that everyone besides Swan lost their title the first pay-per-view after it was posted?
As for the first part of that question,
you from our Going in Raw account, you retweeted the picture with the hashtag "This is awesome." I retweeted it because I agreed with you.
Yeah, it's my Twitter profile or the banner right now.
Yeah,
I got to change that into something else. I loved it. I think it's historically significant.
And I think Kofi's response to the controversy,
he posted a thing on Facebook.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah,
there doesn't have to be any malice.
I know.
Like there's no malice insinuated or intended there.
None.
People get. I don't know. I don't get. I'll just say I don't get it. Why people would have a problem with that on our Twitter?
I don't know either.
We had some people. Why are they bringing race into it? I'm like, it's beyond that. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know.
I know. I don't understand why it was such a deal.
Yeah, and I don't think it makes the WWE look bad that everyone besides Swan lost their title. I think it was a significant. The New Day broke a record. Like they had it for a very long time. If that's not, that's very cool. You know, it's very neat.
Yeah.
And I think they sort of are where the business needs to go, in terms of diversifying the product. And the Cruiserweight Classic is another example of that.
Yes.
So no, I don't think it necessarily makes the WWE look bad. It's like, they are ingrained at the top of their storylines, at the top of their divisions.
Yes.
And that's not changing. They're using Sasha Banks now to get over Nia Jax.
Yes.
And she's going to do it without the title.
Yes.
And the same with the New Day.
Yes.
So I think it's been good.
Yeah.
Especially considering the WWE's past.
Yes.
It's nice to see. Tommy T. Why is it when a former wrestler talks bad about how Triple H runs things or say bad things about him being in charge, Steve says you have to take it with a grain of salt because they might just be mad. But when you both read that Vice Sports article on WWE, you both seem to just go with it like it was unbiased fact and dig into Vince. I'm just asking because you guys seem to dig into Vince at least twice an episode lately. I think because the reporting was so good on that Vice article.
Yeah, for the most part. There's a couple facts they didn't really get right.
They got. Oh wait, really? Like what?
Just like shoot, I'll have to look. Meltzer.
It's okay. Meltzer, no pressure.
When I was reading it, I noticed a couple things. I was like, okay, well, I'm not sure that's correct.
Okay.
Just factual stuff, not in terms of things that have happened in the recent past.
Okay.
And when Meltzer reported on it in his newsletter, he talked about some of that stuff too.
Okay. All right. I'll take a look at that. Honestly, it's because there was so much validation to what we had sort of thought in the first place. By no means have I ever thought like, okay, Meltzer had number one, Triple H was the guy who, and I don't know, I think this is kind of a virtue and kind of interesting that he was the guy who suggested they take the Montreal Screw Job. It was kind of his idea.
Yeah.
There's kind of a consensus that was the case. Triple H is an interesting character because he allegedly was also one of the guys who was in Vince's ear saying, don't book The Rock in the main event at WrestleMania 15. Now, I think that was simply because they all say they were sharks back then, and they were all politicking to get their own nut, basically. So I think if you look, I think Triple H is an incredibly smart guy who also had, like, we've openly said, if it is Triple H's thing that everybody has their part in the play, that wrestling is a play and everybody has their part, and they can't grow beyond that role.
If that's the case, that's a bummer.
Regardless of so the knock that I'm talking about is, a couple people have said this, that Triple H feels that wrestling is a play and everybody has their part, and you're not supposed to grow past your part, regardless of or in spite of. Despite you having a crowd behind you.
Or you're making money
like
for the company.
Damien Sandow has the crowd behind him, and they're not going to push him past a certain... If that is a Triple H thing, which we've heard...
It's a bummer.
It's a bummer. I disagree with that philosophy. I don't like that.
I mean, because he had that attitude, then there's no way Stone Cold would have ever happened. Mm-hmm. He would have been the ringmaster.
Exactly.
For 2 or 3 more years, or that long, would have got released.
Now, that being said... Vince McMahon was apparently willing to say, "Well, this guy, look what he's doing. He's getting this over. Let's keep that going." And Vince Russo, to his credit, said the philosophy back then was, "Let's get everybody over.
Yes,
let's get everybody over."
Yes.
And so there are things about Triple H that we've heard, that anecdotally people have said since they've left the company, Cody Rhodes, Damien Sandow, that I'm like, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
And there are things that I really love about Triple H and the way he runs the business from what we've heard anecdotally. Vince McMahon, same way, but it's just there seems to be this constant theme of Vince being out of touch with what people want today.
There's that, and then there's him being very fickle.
Very fickle and making rash decisions at the last minute.
Yes.
And when you have X number of writers coming out saying... Yeah, man, we there's no long-term planning because, you write something and then at the last minute Vince changes it and that throws you can't long-term plan. And I feel like Kevin Nash once said it best, the best stories are the ones that you could just plan out 6 months in advance.
And I think we're seeing the lack of planning or vision play out right now with the Owens-Jericho story.
Rollins Triple H.
Yeah.
Where's Triple H been?
Yeah, there's no vision.
Yeah.
No planning.
So look, we try to call it the way we see it, and it's not like we have an agenda against Vince McMahon. The guy, he's responsible for us having careers because he's been responsible for the WWE.
Yeah.
But when you see what we're big on storytelling, we're big on stories. And when stories are told in such a haphazard manner,
Yes.
as seemingly they have
It
been,
kind of it devalues the product.
we like to look at what could have been realistically. Like when the Summer of Punk, when Punk won that title from Cena at Money in the Bank, why not let him take the risk of having him leave with the title for a month,
The whole
3
summer.
months, the entire summer. Let him show up in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Let him show up in Ring of Honor.
That'd have been awesome.
It'd have been fan. Like back in the day, the WWE and ECW used to have collaborations like that.
Yeah.
And it benefited everybody.
It did.
It made for some very compelling television.
Yes.
And Ring of Honor they weren't going to be threatening the WWE anytime soon. Let that happen.
I know.
That would have been amazing if that happened.
I know.
So
It would have harkened back to the old territorial days.
So, like, we have our predilections. We have what we like. We have what we feel would work best in terms of telling stories. And when we hear or read things that would counter that in terms of Vince McMahon or Triple H for that matter, we call him out on it.
Yeah.
Michael Dodd.
Michael Dodd wants to get into old WCW via pay-per-views and select episodes. What are your recommendations for me to get the best possible and full experience of this time in the wrestling industry? Well, it depends on what era of WCW. Because 92, I believe, they left the NWA.
Yeah.
And became their own organization.
I'm gonna make this recommendation.
So I mean, it depends if he wants old WCW, NWO era WCW.
Okay, well, I'm gonna assume
final days.
I'm gonna assume he says I want to get into old WCW. Now everything at this point is old WCW.
Yes.
But if you're looking at WCW, if you want to take their last days as current, and you're talking about old in that respect,
Early 90s then.
I would say 1989.
They were still the NWA though.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they were calling themselves WCW. I think that might have been like the TV show they were referring to, but they were still part of the NWA.
Yeah.
But you had when Terry Funk was gunning after Ric Flair, you had Sting as the U.S. champion. There was a lot. Like I watched an episode, and there was so much on the network like a month ago, a couple weeks ago. There was so much entertaining stuff happening at that time that I would recommend some around 1989 WCW NWA. There was a lot of fun. I was legitimately entertained. It wasn't like ironically entertained.
Yeah.
I was legitimately entertained by the pro wrestling back then. That's what I would recommend, just because I've watched that recently. Next.
Yeah, good call. Triple H Memorial Battle Royal winner Joe Flex Hammer Smash.
That is a name.
You're the commander of your own Starfleet starship.
I'm here. I'm there, man.
And you have your choice of any WWE superstar as your number one.
Oh, man. First officer.
Who do you choose and why?
Holy cow. Who's my number one? Who's my Riker? Or Spock? Oh, we got a new sale. Brian Whipple. Steve W. Brian Whipple. Too sweet. I mean, this is a loaded question.
I know.
Because he's the guy you're sending down for away missions.
Yep.
Because in Next Generation, I'm not allowed to go.
Yeah.
Because I'm a captain. Who's my number one?
So you need someone that's responsible to an extent.
Trustworthy. And will obey your command. But you have to trust his.
Yes. His decision-making ability.
Decision-making as well.
In the event that you are incapacitated and can't be captain.
Right.
And also to lead the away team.
Yeah. Who's a true leader? Like Undertaker would have his own ship. Cena would have his own ship.
Bray Wyatt would have his own ship.
Bray Wyatt, he'd like go off into space and get lost. Like my initial instinct was Daniel Bryan. That's my initial instinct.
That's a good choice.
But he'd have to be in it. He'd have to be into it.
Yeah.
It couldn't be like, oh, his big passion was, I don't know,
some sporting event on some other planet.
Parisi Squares.
Okay.
But he can't play that anymore because it's too dangerous. If any of you nerds out there get that reference, and I applaud you.
I'm going to say the potentially.
Okay.
Maybe not. I'm going to say Chris Jericho.
Okay.
But maybe not.
No, Jericho's old though. He should have his own. Like Kevin Owens is like head of security. I would maybe Roman Reigns. How about Braun Strowman as your first officer? Send that guy down on away missions.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler. You wouldn't go very far with Dolph Ziggler. All right, Danny, you love it. You love it. Swinton. Hey, friendos, Dan here. If you had to have a sleepover at any WWE superstar's house, who'd you stay with apart from Mojo Rawley? There, nobody else. Mojo Rawley is your first officer.
I thought about that.
What a mess.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be
It'd
on
be
Risa
a huge
the
mess.
entire time.
Exactly, on Risa the whole time.
The entire time. I'm gonna sleep over at any WWE superstar's house. Well, I wouldn't go to the Wyatt compound. That'd be terrifying. I wouldn't go to Cena's house. It'd be too restrictive.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it'd be much fun. It's a place that we could go and have fun.
Have fun.
Who seems like they'd have a fun house?
Bayley.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Probably be very like G-rated though. Maybe not. Just want me just walking around naked.
Undisputed champion, Marty Too Sweet.
Too sweet.
What do you guys think about this? Apollo Crews turning heel and then getting Mark Henry as a bodyguard.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Kind of like Diesel and Shawn Michael. Or would it not work? If Apollo Crews did what you proposed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would like that.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I would let Mark Henry as an Apollo Crews mentor. Apollo Crews is a protege to Mark Henry. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I'd
that'd be
love that.
fantastic.
I'm down with that. Timothy Spector Grimm March. There's always a lot of insert big names should come to WWE, and I agree most times. But what about the Cesaro and Sami Zayn types out there in other companies? What great underused talents from other promotions would you bring in, and what show would you put them on, and what level? Silas Young, the last real man for sure. I was thinking
on SmackDown
on the guy who took King Maxwell's first pin.
Oh, Rockstar Spud.
Oh yeah, and I think I read like a rumor. The only reason I bring him up, I think I read a rumor that like somebody like Triple H or somebody's high on him and wants to bring him in.
He's good on the mic.
He's great on the mic.
Yeah,
he's fantastic. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know much else about him. Maybe he's a piece of shit. I don't know.
Penultimate Tommy Wiseau.
Hi, Mark.
Who is your most irrational yet most beloved jobber ever that you find yourself defending as though they were a legitimate threat to an upper mid-card title or higher? In Penultimate Tommy Wiseau, says Al Snow.
Boy, what a good question. The most irrational yet most beloved jobber ever that you find yourself defending. Oh, man. God. Shit. I know I've had plenty of those. But shit, I don't know. I guess you could say Bray Wyatt. I've always been like, I know Bray Wyatt's like super jobber guy.
Yeah.
Not lately, I know, but
historically speaking.
Historically speaking.
You always thought
I've always
eat
said
pin after pin and still be fine.
I've always said that he could eat pin after pin and be fine.
I mean, at one point, apparently, I was a huge Fandango
You were a
fan.
massive Fandango fan. Titus O'Neil.
Yes.
Titus O'Neil.
Yes.
You and Mark during the Trio Woe days were certain he would get the IC title.
Or the U.S. title.
And I never saw that happening. And it's funny because I always loved him. And
Yeah,
I always
he's great.
wanted that to happen. But
He's
realistically, I was always like, he just doesn't seem like, I don't know why.
It could still happen.
I just don't think so.
Titus Brand.
He's so, like, him and Curtis Axel are just so far beyond repair. I would love to think otherwise. I just think when you job, when you use that to that degree, you're in such a hole. Dominic Hilberg, new patron and first question. Thank you, Dominic.
Yes, thank you very much.
He says Dominic first started watching WWE during Triple H's Reign of Terror. Yeah, again, Triple H, like his feud with Booker T was horrible. Just burying people left and right. And until I stopped watching wrestling in 2010, Triple H was the most dominant heel, and no one named Undertaker ever kicked out of the pedigree. Now, over the past year, I've gotten back in wrestling, and I've been looking more into wrestling history. One thing I saw was a match between the Ultimate Warrior and Triple H, where Warrior ate a pedigree, completely no-sold it, and then proceeded to squash Triple H in a moment that looks absolutely surreal today.
That was part of Triple H's punishment.
It was Mania 13?
12.
12? Okay. His question is this: what moments in wrestling history seem completely bizarre now because of how events in wrestling eventually unfolded. Really digging into the show. Keep up the awesome content. Thank you. Daniel Bryan getting fired was really weird.
Yeah.
That was really weird.
Yeah.
Considering how massive he eventually became, that was really
But also
weird.
just for what he did.
Yeah, I know. There's always really weird things like that.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that used to happen back in the 70s and 80s that you watch now, and it's like, well, that's really weird.
You know what? It was always weird that Stone Cold wasn't utilized properly in WCW.
Steve W.
WCW. That's going to be a problem for me. It was always weird because him and Brian Pillman were such massive talents, and that they got over that Hollywood Blondes gimmick was crazy, and then they just didn't do it. Like all the talent that ran through WCW, and then they ended up just going to WWF was insane.
I know.
It was insane. And instead, you had like Hulk Hogan, like 10 years after, like he was good. I mean, he was good again when he was in the NWO, but that period of time when he signed in like, what, 93 or 95, whatever it was.
93, I think,
93.
Until 96.
Until
when he turned
96.
Heel. I know.
It was just like bunk.
I know.
It was so low rate.
I know.
Nathan Ragland, you're up.
Yeah. Let's say that Roman wins the Universal title and combines it with the U.S. title.
This is Magnum TA champion Nathan Ragland.
Yes. And the WWE comes to you asking you to create a secondary title to take its place. What would the belt be called? How would it look? And who would be the first person to hold the belt? It's a network title, man. Got to make that network title.
I love the network title idea. I love it.
Who would be the first holder of the network title?
Mojo Rawley.
I'll say Cesaro once him and Sheamus have broken up.
Oh, okay.
Imagine Cesaro as the network champion.
I like it. I like it a lot.
It'd be very good. Mantar Jr.
Mantar.
You've both committed heinous crimes.
Uh-oh, somebody knows my past.
And have been sentenced to death by WWE superstar.
It's a rhetorical question.
Who does the deed and how?
Braun Strowman. He looks like one of them old school executioner guys.
That's a good point.
Just put one of them like hood things on him, and he's executioner man.
That's a good point.
If okay, I'll put it this way: if it was death by axe on the wood block,
Yeah.
I'd want Braun Strowman, right?
Yeah, that's a good
Strong
answer.
man.
Yeah.
Strong man.
Yeah.
That's a grim question, by the way.
It really is.
Mantar, that's a really grim question. What's the heinous crime that we committed? If it's back then, it could be any number of things. Like, you make a sandwich wrong and you're a witch and they kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Naptime champion Brian Whipple. Holiday season has me pondering this one. If you had to be... Man, I want some eggnog. If you had to be caught...
Oh, it's so gross.
Really? You don't like eggnog?
It's disgusting.
Oh, it's the best thing ever, man. You're insane. If you had to be caught under the mistletoe with one...
I don't want to drink like viscous egg product. It's gross.
Oh, it tastes so good.
It's so nasty.
We're going to Safeway for lunch, buddy boy, and I'm getting some eggnog.
You can get all you want. You're sitting over there, and I'm just sitting right here. I don't want to be anywhere near it. It doesn't smell good either.
Just put it on me. He says, if you had to be caught under the mistletoe with one male wrestler, who'd you pick? He says he's going to go with Ty Dillinger because at least that kiss would be the perfect 10. That's a good answer right there.
That is.
Any male superstar. We're both straight married men. But I think Lacey would be okay if I planted one on a male superstar. Mm-hmm. She don't give a shit, though.
Does that have to be WWE superstar?
Well, hold on a second. Who was I having? I was swapping wives with Rusev and her. So it wouldn't be Rusev, though. I wouldn't want to kiss Rusev. Touch his boobies, maybe. I know it sure as shit wouldn't be Silas Young. That big gob of spit he's got in his face in that promo he was dropping.
That's a good point.
Who would you kiss? Who would you make out with in a mistletoe? It wouldn't be Lex Luger.
What about Finn Balor?
He would probably smell weird.
Finn Balor.
Oh, he's a pretty man. If he was shaved, yeah, absolutely. But I don't want any beard. No beard.
Finn Balor. That's my answer.
Finn Balor without a beard. No, you know what? Samoa Joe. He's so soft. He's got such a soft face. I just want to go squeeze his cheeks. Go. Samoa Joe.
Oh,
what a great question.
That is a good question.
Brian Whipple. What a great question. Glenn McClelland. What's your opinion on cutting to crowd reactions after or sometimes even during a spot? I love it.
I don't like it.
It's so bad. It's good.
It's awful. I don't like it
It
at all.
leads to the best GIFs, though.
But we miss spots sometimes.
I know. I'm fine with that.
I don't like it.
You're up.
Gage Kadawas?
Kadawas.
Hey, friendos, new patron here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What has been the best, most memorable spot of the year?
What spot has been most memorable? What spot?
Not. Well, the best. It might be the most memorable, but it's not the best. Is Shane doing the elbow off the Hell in a Cell.
Probably most memorable.
But it's not the best.
No.
The whole match was made just for that spot.
I mean, this is kind of recent, but AJ doing the 450
yeah,
splash on
TLC.
the table, that was money.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was pretty great.
I feel like there's probably at least 5 in Lucha Underground I'm not thinking of.
That's true.
They had some really good spots.
What about that Naito Kenny Omega?
Oh, shit. Where he powerbombed them, where Omega powerbombed them over the barricade through a table and then did the top rope move and took most of the impact with his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. There we go. That's the winner.
There you go. Possible number one, possible top draft pick right here, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking maybe?
Well, we had decided our stables one pick.
See, I want to say no. I my heart says yes, but man, I hope you don't.
Because
I want the Empire Pain, man.
I don't want friendos to create these awesome stables and then we break them up.
I agree.
So I feel like stables should be treated like tag teams and drafted as a single unit.
All right, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Possible number one pick,
Yes.
the Empire of Pain.
Yes.
How would you say no to such a
I know,
powerful,
you're getting 4 people with
such
one
a
pick.
powerful stable.
And such a powerful stable. They put everybody through announce tables. It's great.
That's all they do. You don't want, what was that dude's name? Shigeru Sen.
Oh, I don't remember.
That was great. Anyways, the Western States Heritage Champion Matthew E. Williams, Esquire. Damn it, I don't want him in fun wrestling. He doesn't want to be in fun wrestling. The Empire of Pain. In fun wrestling, you're going to neuter them. You're going to let them put people through tables in fun wrestling? That's like against the rules.
No, it's not.
Oh, man, you're crazy. His question is, who would you have train your future son and daughter? So our son and daughter. Or wait, no, we just have daughters. To get in the business from the current under age 40 talent.
I don't. Well, first of all, I don't know.
I would never want my child in wrestling.
I was just about to say that, but
Booker T.
Oh, he's not under 40, is he?
Oh no, probably not. But still, I'd go with Booker T. It'd be Daniel Bryan, of course.
Oh yeah,
He'd
yeah.
have to get over whatever shit he's got going on in his head that doesn't want to make him train.
I was watching a little bit of the last episode of Total Divas, or one of the
JJ Bella,
and Nikki was getting ready for a comeback.
Okay.
And it was Daniel Bryan, Nikki, and Bree in some little gym somewhere. And Daniel Bryan was teaching Nikki some new moves.
Oh.
And he's such a good teacher.
Oh, yeah, I imagine he would.
Like, she had him in some kind of submission type hold. And she was like, how's this? Is this okay? He's like, oh, it's a little tight, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It was like, he's so reassuring.
Yeah.
He seems so patient.
Yeah.
And you know the wealthy knowledge he has, not only in terms of the technical aspect of it, but the psychology of wrestling.
Everything, yeah.
Man, he'd be great.
He's great. Absolutely. Andrew Wormley.
No, we skipped one.
Did we?
Gabriel Garcia.
Oops.
So I heard on your dirt sheet that you wish you could be backstage after the Brock versus Randy match, which got Gabriel Garcia thinking.
Man.
Name 3 times you wish you were a fly on the wall backstage.
Dude, I'm telling. How is that not a count out? Top 10. Oh, that'd be great. But let's do 3.
Montreal Screwjob.
That's got to be number 1, right?
Yeah, you think so.
That's got to be number 1. Montreal Screwjob. I'd want to be backstage. I'd want to be at Gorilla before Hogan came out at Bash of the Beach '96 when he went to the NWO. That would be freaking.
Yeah, that's good.
That'd be bizarre.
What about the Sid Arn stabbing incident?
Well, you'd have to be in a hotel hallway for that one, but
Yeah.
I'm down for that. Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be terrifying. Be watching Live Leak.
Now you're up.
All right, Andrew Wormley. Best heel turns of 2016. Well, Neville's was really good the other day.
Yeah.
What other heel turns have we had? I mean, Orton.
Jericho turning heel on AJ.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it led to the list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. John Cena.
Hasn't happened yet, man.
Hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened yet, man.
Still time.
Jose, GGR. Name a star from every decade since the 60s that would be over with the crowd if they debuted today. This is an interesting question.
Name a star. Oh, wow. What a great question. From the 60s. Would Bruno be over today?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was a beast, man. I think he'd be over. But he'd be more like a Cesaro guy. How tall was Bruno?
I don't know.
Was he a beast? Was he a big dude?
I think he's like 6'2".
6'2"?
Maybe.
I feel like if Cesaro was like a lot buffer, he'd be like Bruno.
Oh, he was only 5'10".
Really?
He's my height.
Oh, shit. He'd be like the best in the cruiserweights.
But he was 265 pounds.
Jesus. Thick.
All right, so from the 60s. So we're talking like Buddy Rogers.
But anyway, he's just a weird.
Well,
old
Bruno
guy.
was late 60s.
Yeah, he was late 60s. That's what I'm saying. Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno.
70s.
How would
I mean, Flair would be over.
Yeah. What about Billy Graham? What about somebody who didn't make it into like Flair was wrestling. Flair was over earlier this decade.
Yeah, I know. I guess Flair's peak was the 80s anyways. I mean, he was wrestling in the 70s, but he really
Billy
didn't.
Graham was too roided out. Was Ventura in the 70s? Ventura would be super over today. You kidding me? Those mic skills of his? You kidding me?
80s, Flair.
Let's take Flair out of it.
Okay.
Flair is popular always.
So no Flair, then no Hogan, then too.
Yeah, no Hogan.
None of the iconic people from the 80s.
I mean, you're starting to get into odd territory there. Who was popular in the 80s didn't last to the 90s.
Or who was popular in the 80s but never reached the pinnacle. He was never champ, like Rick Rude. He was popular in the 80s, but he was never champ.
Would
At least
Honky Tonk
WWE.
Man be over now?
Not with that gimmick, no.
Not a chance.
Nope.
Would Warrior be over now?
I don't think so.
Not a well, yeah, Mojo Rawley. He'd reach the level of Mojo Rawley.
Mojo Rawley has a little more dimension to his character than the Warrior ever did.
He does. Gotta love Mojo Rawley. Where's my Mojo shirt?
But I mean, like, pretty much everybody that was huge in the 90s and the early aughts would be over now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And even a lot of people in the 80s. I mean, people that are over get over by and large because they're good at what they do. That's, I think especially now, people that can really wrestle will get over now.
Still weird for me to see Rick Rude when I saw him in ECW and he dropped the F-bomb. I'm like, Rick, that's weird. Anyways, let's see here.
Randy.
You've been given the green light by the WWE to create a spin-off series of Legends House. It's called The Hoss House. Who's in your reality
Or you
TV
could
show?
call it the Legend Haas.
Legends Hoss. Oh, man. So, I mean, who would be in there? Who's alive still?
Stan Hansen.
Stan Hansen would definitely be in. Stan Hansen and Vader would be in the same Hoss. Yeah.
The Haas House.
The Hoss House. It'd be Stan Hansen, Vader, Barry Windham.
Yeah.
There always has to be a Barry Windham.
I mean, he's Prime Haas. We need Prime Haas.
He is Prime Hoss.
So let's get two more.
Oh, man.
Are we going to toss Bobby Duncombe Jr. in there?
I mean, I can't tell the difference between him and Barry Windham.
I know.
And then wasn't there another Duncombe? I think there was another Windham or another Duncombe.
What about Rotunda?
Hey, IRS?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Toss him in there because Bray Wyatt can show up and Bo can show up.
Exactly.
Those
Last question. Alex Shez, in honor of Festivus.
For the rest of us.
What grievances would you like to air against the WWE this year?
Okay.
Festivus is coming up on the 23rd. I think that's Festivus.
I would like to say,
So Friday.
what grievance would you like to air against the WWE?
Got
Got a lot of problems with you people.
Start implementing some semblance of long-term planning.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't wake up and just change your mind on a whim, Vince.
Raw should be money more often, because like, every once in a while they have those really great Raws, and it always seems to be either Raw was great or Raw was okay. You know what I mean? Why can't they just bring it every week?
Here's another grievance.
Okay.
They should have balanced the rosters better at the draft.
Oh yeah.
SmackDown really got the short end of that.
Yeah.
And they did the best they could with what they had for the first few months, but now the lack of roster depth is really starting to show.
Agreed.
Anything else?
We should do a countdown on that. Our top 10 WWE grievances.
Okay.
Let's replace one of the match lists with that.
But
We'll
we have the
we'll
match
talk about it.
We have the match list all done.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
Anyways.
We'll save it. Hey, let's save it for end of year dirt sheet.
All right, that sounds good.
We'll do end of year dirt sheet will be predictions for next year.
Okay.
Wrestling resolutions.
Yeah.
And also grievances.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
All right, it's time for Kayfabe Corner.
Oh, crap. That's right. Kayfabe Corner. Ooh, this is going to be a little bit different. Oh, shit. What? I need to plug this thing in because it died on me, and my Kayfabe list was right here.
Uh-oh.
But also, this is going to be a very special episode of Kayfabe Corner. I already know I lost, so I'm going to make up fake names as I go along.
Okay.
Okay?
And you're gonna I feel like it'd be pretty easy to tell when you're making up a fake name.
Well, you'll see. All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm up. I don't know.
You're up way too many for me to...
My win is guaranteed.
Yeah.
For the year.
You're a lock.
Yeah.
So, Kayfabe Corner. Are you ready?
Yeah. 12 names, 6 real, 6 fake. Next year we're going to change that. So you can have as many reals or fakes as you want.
Correct. This time around, I threw out 2 promotions. Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and Combat Zone Wrestling. CZW. Because I was looking at a bunch of deathmatch stuff last night. But people chose PWG. Very sadly, though, because CZW had all sorts of great names that I'd never heard of before. I can't really watch that stuff, though.
No, I can't either.
Too grim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so Pete is Pro Wrestling Guerrilla variations on those names. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. And I'm going to make up 5 of these on the spot.
Okay.
Are you ready? Number 1.
1.
Brandon
Fake.
Nitro.
Fake.
Real. Number 2.
2.
Super Cold.
Fake.
Very good. Coco the Mime.
You sound a little more sure with that one.
Did I? Are you sure?
I'm going to say fake.
Real.
Wow.
The strategy is working. Number 4.
4.
Delicado.
See, I'm already in next year. I know my win's in the bag. So this is like
Yeah, that's fine. It's good.
like last week of senior year, you know?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Delicado. And he means
Fake.
He means Spanish and it's real. Rudo Rojo.
Fake.
Very good. How would you know that's fake off the bat? That's only could be a real name. You know what Rojo means? It means red.
Yes, I know what it means.
It means red bad guy.
I know what it means.
Okay. Benny Chung.
Real.
Very good. Cortez Castro.
That one actually sounds familiar. I'm going to say fake, though.
It's real. You go with your gut. Whenever it sounds familiar, it's probably real. All right. Masked John Kennedy.
Fake.
Lenny Legend.
Fake.
Yeah. Masked Spy Master 2.
Real.
Very good. Jungle Man.
That one's real.
Is it? Hold on.
I thought.
I just made it up on the spot.
I thought that one was real.
Jungle Man wrestler. Well, Adrian Neville went under the name. Hold on. He didn't go under Jungle Man.
Oh, that's probably what I'm thinking of then.
He went under Jungle Pac.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of then.
Okay.
All right. So,
Nice.
So is that
Like
12?
And hold on. No, I think I've got a couple more.
I got
Damn it.
6.
Oh, my notes. Okay, here we go. And finally, Computer Face.
Fake.
I don't know what I'm doing, man. All right, 2 trivia questions.
7.
All right. What was the scheduled main event for PWG's very first show, which never took place? The main event, that is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This would be 2000. Well, I mean, they started in 2003. I'll have to think Joey Ryan against Samoa Joe.
Close. You got half of them. Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd
never
be a good
happened,
match.
And 2, what was the name of the Kurt Russell themed PWG show? You know, all their names are very
Yeah,
clever.
yeah. Was it Big Trouble in Little Reseda?
WrestleMania.
Oh, that's good too.
All right, well, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.